is so kind. Selena Gomez has reacted to her former boyfriend actually taking care of his wife amidst a serious health concern for Hailey Baldwin. The footages that are now going viral on social media depict the baby singer going above and beyond in taking care of his wife. It is regarded this scenario that Selena Gomez's reported action is now also making rounds on social media. The love triangle between Selena, Hailey, and Justin continues to get more interesting, as the fighting couple can now be seen happy together for once. So, how exactly has this situation developed over the past couple of days? And where could things go from here? Let's find out in this video. For those wondering what actually happened to Hailey Baldwin, it was on her Instagram stories that she posted how she was having breakfast in bed with Justin and the events that followed. According to Hailey, she began having stroke-like symptoms during her meal, which was quite terrifying. As it turned out, she had a minor blood clot in her brain that thankfully resolved itself a few hours later. Justin Bieber continues to be protective of Hailey Bieber after she had a horrific blood clot in her brain after enjoying a lover's night with Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker. This might make it appear that Justin Bieber has always had the best intentions for his wife, which could be true, but things did not appear like this a few months ago. However, we'll get back to that later. It won't be wrong to say that during this time, Hailey Bieber's husband is seen doing everything in his powers to be a supportive spouse, less than a month after she had a blood clot in her brain. Justin continues to be very protective of Hailey and is keeping a close eye on her, a source close to the singer exclusively shared with E! News. They're very shaken up, but trying to move forward one day at a time. This weekend, they wanted to spend some time getting out and enjoying themselves. It was on March 20th when Justin and Hailey went out for dinner with Kendall Jenner and her boyfriend, Phoenix Suns shooting guard Devin Booker, at Giorgio Baldi in Santa Monica, California. Justin and Hailey wanted to get out after spending a quiet week at home, the source shared. He wanted to take her to a nice dinner and for her to spend time with close friends. It was just what they needed, and they had a nice time. Hailey, who's currently 25, had disclosed on Instagram on March 12th that she was hospitalized and receiving treatment for a blood clot in her brain. While she was able to recuperate in a matter of hours, the episode had taken her entirely by surprise. Although this was definitely one of the scariest moments I've ever had, I'm home now and doing well. And I'm so grateful and thankful to all the amazing doctors and nurses who took care of me, she wrote. Thank you to everyone who's reached out with well wishes and concerns, and for all the support and love. It was quite soon after this that Justin addressed the health scare during his Justice World Tour performance in Denver. The 28-year-old acknowledged that the ordeal had been frightening in between performances of his biggest singles. You know, it's kind of crazy how life randomly throws you curveballs, he shared with the crowd on March 16th. You know, we can't really control much. She's okay, she's good, she's strong. But it's been scary, you know? Like, it's been really scary. But I know for a fact that God has her in the palm of his hand, and that's a good thing. Since then, Hailey has returned to the crowd to see her husband perform, including his big finale, Anyone, which he usually dedicates to his wife. She's out there somewhere, Justin said at a previous show. She hates me when I put her on the spot. She's probably over there blushing. She probably hates me right now, but I love her. I love you so much, baby. Over the years, Hailey and Justin have had a somewhat bumpy relationship. While the couple showcases nothing but love for each other on their social media handles, it becomes pretty clear through plenty of their interactions that the two may not have been on the best terms over the years. For those unaware, let's have a quick sneak peek at some of the moments that showed a deteriorating relationship between Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber. It wasn't too long ago that the couple was caught in an uncomfortable exchange of words. And that too in front of all their fans watching them live. That's the mentality Hailey Bieber had responded to Justin Bieber after he replied, "Listen to me, woman." This was followed by a very awkward 1 to 2 minute segment in which the two went live on Instagram and read the fan comments. Justin stopped Hailey as soon as she decides to say something, claiming that the inquiry was meant at him. "It's my Lyme disease," says the narrator. Hailey answers that she, too, had assisted him, which is why she was speaking. The two laughed for a couple of seconds during the video, but it was very clear that it was getting wildly uncomfortable. Hailey Baldwin and her husband, Justin Bieber, had also quite recently spoken with Vogue for their March issue cover story, in which they discussed their marriage. The thing is, marriage is very hard. That's the sentence you should lead with. It's really hard, she'd said. During the conversation, however, it was discovered that Hailey may have been putting unreasonable limits on Justin Bieber in their marriage. To begin with, the two stated that they would refrain from having sex until they were married. Everyone knows that Justin was not the one who followed that guideline in his marriage. Justin had been accused of sleeping with Selena and others throughout his past relationships. At that point in his life, Bieber was more than 1 year into a period of self-imposed celibacy, which he'd imposed on himself to deal with his problems of sex, as he called it. Or maybe, as Vogue's Rob Haskell put it, his addiction. He used abstinence to try and feel closer to God. He doesn't ask us not to have sex for him because he wants rules and stuff, Bieber said in the interview. He's like, I'm trying to protect you from hurt and pain. I think sex can cause a lot of pain. Sometimes people have sex because they don't feel good enough, because they lack self-worth. Women do that and guys do that. I wanted to rededicate myself to God in that way because I really felt it was better for the condition of my soul. Bieber now supposedly talking about his own journey and that he was religious now. But that didn't stop people from speculating that it was Hailey Bieber who was extraordinarily religious in this marriage. So there's an article going around about how Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber abstained from sex before they were married. But the article's loaded with really religious stuff like you get rewarded for good behavior by abstaining from sex. People were having a really hard time believing the words coming from Justin's mouth were something he actually believed in. I believe that God blessed me with Hailey as a result. When Justin Bieber was asked about excellent conduct, he used these remarks in the interview. He was clearly more than ready to leave the chastity in the past once he received that blessing, as Justin stated that their reconnection made him realize how much he truly loved and missed Hailey. However, it was characterized by Robert Haskell as finally getting to have sex. Because of his and his wife Hailey Bieber's quarrel, Justin Bieber's fans want him to reunite with Selena Gomez. I wish Justin and Selena were still together, says one fan. However, this only represents an iota of the actual number of tweets that have been pushing Justin to ditch his wife and get back together with Selena Gomez. What do you think about the revival of love between Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber after her health scare? Do share your thoughts in the comments below.